This episode of Power Women of the Trades is also brought to you by Forrest Perry of Forrest Perry Digital Marketing. Want to generate more leads for your service business? Trust his team to deliver quality new customer leads and protect your brand online. Check out perrymarketing.com today.
Most businesses' online presence is boring, and by being boring, they're losing out on potential sales and customers. Being interesting and exciting is what draws customers in and gets them to buy from you. But it's hard to be interesting online when you're focused on running your business and taking care of your customers. It doesn't have to be this way. We have the key to unlocking the solution to your problem. Key Heart Marketing can help take your business from boring to brilliant on social media. We can vouch for them. They run our podcast socials. If you want to have a strong social media presence that allows customers to know, like, and trust you, connect with Key Heart Marketing at keyheartmarketing.com.
Hey everyone, this is Eric Thomas with Rival Digital, and I am proud to announce that we are the newest sponsor for the Power Women of the Trades podcast. We've been a big fan and supporter of the show for years, and we are just very excited and very honored for the opportunity to now be one of the podcast sponsors. So make sure you check out their page and subscribe to the podcast and listen in on wherever you get your podcast episodes from. Rival Digital is a full-service premier digital marketing agency for the home services industry. We offer everything from website design, search engine optimization, online advertising, public relations, and more. If you're interested in learning more about the services we offer for contractors just like yourself, head on over to rivaldigital.com, and we look forward to chatting with you.
Welcome to Power Women of the Trades podcast. This show is all about breaking barriers and changing the game. Our guests will feature some of today's most successful female entrepreneurs and other advocates of our industry as well. Because if there's one thing we know for sure, female-led entrepreneurship drives change on multiple levels. We want to empower women in the trade industry like you so you can maximize your potential, stay balanced, achieve long-term success, and claim ownership over your life. Let's get started.
Welcome back to Power Women of the Trades podcast with Cassie and Kailee.
Hey.
Today we have Shelby from Johnstone Supply. Welcome to the show. So I'm excited for Shelby because so real fast, Shelby is our local territory manager, right? Is that your official title?
Yeah.
With Johnstone Supply here in Tulsa, but she actually was previously with a contractor. And so we've got all kinds of things to talk to you about. So I think this is like an exciting episode because we're going to be able to show not just like, there's so many different paths in the trades. Right. So like, you really don't even know. Like, I mean, I almost said dead ass, but I guess I did. Dead ass. I never dreamed I would be where I'm at in the trades, right? And so I think it just goes to show that you can really do whatever you want. So anyways, tell us your story.
Okay.
Start in.
Well, I'm a territory manager at Johnstone Supply, the Temple Group, here in Tulsa. I did not go to college.
Yeah.
So
yay, team no college.
So right out of high school, I went and worked for an attorney in downtown Tulsa.
Mm-hmm.
We did work comp, Social Security, personal injury.
All the fun things.
All the fun things. So I was there for about 5 years, and I had a friend who worked for a local contractor, and I thought her job sounded interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I also liked that she could wear jeans to work every day, which is, we could wear jeans, but only the first Friday of every month.
Oh my gosh.
So, that's so funny. Yeah. So she introduced me. I went, and it was a hard choice. I kind of thought I might stay in the legal field, but in heat and air, did not think that was going to be my future, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, so it's probably like your gateway of like what's next.
Yeah, right.
Really? That's like, I hear that story so many times, and then like people like jump in and then stay. And it's like, well, like Kailee, for example, she probably thought jumping into marketing for a heat and air company was just her like stepping stone. Okay, like I have a job, check. And then, because like we talk about this all the time, she didn't dream she would be here.
Yeah.
So then you went, and I know a little bit about your life at that contractor, like, because I think you went in and what did you go in doing?
I went in honestly to grow their maintenance department.
Okay.
So like their club agreements, went in doing that, ended up like managing the office, doing a lot of marketing, like the home and garden show, stuff like that. Yeah.
And then you did something with lead coordinating, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've talked to him a few times, and anytime I've ever talked to him, because I know who you worked for back then, and he's always was like the best lead coordinator I ever had. So
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I was really good at building the relationship with the customer over the phone, and then being able to put them with the right salesman or project manager to go out there and sell the job. You know, because you have a certain sales guy that works great with an engineer.
Yeah.
A certain sales guy that works great with, a little old lady.
Right.
Like,
For sure. For sure. And sometimes they're not willing to hear that.
Right.
The salesman, for sure. They're like, no, I'm good with everyone. And we're like, you're probably really not.
Right.
Actually, the trail has said no. Okay. So how long have you been with Johnstone?
a little over 5 years.
Okay. So what was that transition like?
I loved the contractor side.
Mhm.
And I mean, it was a very hard choice for me. But I thought going to Johnstone was like my next move for my career. And it was probably one of the best moves I've ever made.
So what did you start out at Johnstone doing?
Doing e-commerce stuff. So like the OE Touch app, getting people signed up on the website, promoting online ordering.
So like bringing contractors to 2020.
Yeah.
2020, I guess 2021 then, right?
Right.
And so now 2026. And I know that's still a battle for you. But it's like, what do you mean? For us, it's like, it's almost a deal breaker if we work with anyone that doesn't have a website or doesn't have online ordering.
Oh my
because
gosh.
like it's 2026 now. What do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I know that just like from us working with you, because I think we've worked with you guys about the same amount of time as you've been with Johnstone.
Right.
So, and then you haven't always been our territory manager. So there's all kinds of stuff. So anyways, then you were doing the e-com and doing all those things. And then you kind of transitioned into territory manager.
Yeah. So Mark called me one day and he was like, "Hey, do you have a second to meet?" And
pause. Mark is Mark Temple, the owner of Johnstone.
Right.
And he is, I bet that was like, where you're like, oh God.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is the contractor that I worked for previously had just called me and he was like, "Hey, I want you to be our TM."
So for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So a position opened upstairs and Mark asked me if I was interested in it.
Well, that was cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Were you scared?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew the contractor side. So I thought I would have like one step up. But I did not know the wholesale side.
Yeah. So what does your day-to-day as a territory manager look like these days? Or in general, what is that role? Are you prospecting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, probably just like yours. So our phones start going off. I mean, your warehouse starts texting me about 6:15 in the morning.
Shout out quality team.
And it's nothing for me. My phone to still be going off at 8:30 at night.
Yeah. And I have to give shout outs to Johnstone because quality is a heavily female-led organization. We know that. And we work well with men, FYI, and Brent and everyone else at Johnstone we love. But, Brent, it got to the point that Johnstone's grown so well.
Right.
That's amazing. And so we kind of transitioned to you working with us. And that was a good fit because, sometimes when you're the company that's getting the new territory manager, or you weren't new when you came to us.
Right. I think I was in like 2 years.
Yeah. But when you became our territory manager, sometimes that's rocky. Sometimes it's scary for Johnstone, like, oh crap, is this going to be a good fit? And then for us, like, I don't think we're the hardest customer, but I don't think we're probably the easiest because we have a lot of demand, and a lot of, maybe expectations, excuse me, isn't the right word, but you know, you guys realize that we expect the same type of service from you guys that we're giving our customer.
Right.
And you are great at that. Not every manufacturer or distributor or whoever does not care. You know, we've definitely worked with others who, you know, if the unit has an issue right out of the box, like, I don't feel like we should give that to our customer.
Right.
You know, and you guys have been a great partner, or we're going to work together for a solution. You guys have been a great partner. But also, I think it was, you know, shout out Mark and co. giving us Shelby because it was a good fit. Because we were hard because we had Clint too. And we are, as much as it's kind of funny, we have one of our core values. If you listen to the podcast, you hear quality's core values all the time because we live and breathe them so deeply that it just comes out of us constantly. But one of our core values is be willing to grow, which really is also be willing to change. But sometimes we suck at that with Johnstone. Because we would be like, well, we can't lose Clint.
Yeah, right.
Because Clint was, you know.
Clint was a blessing, and he was sitting at his desk. Like, you know, he wasn't out in the field. So that was like kind of a learning curve, even for the warehouse, that I'm not just sitting, I'm driving down 169 half the time. I'm working from my cell phone.
Yeah,
you know?
Our team, when they call you and are like, hey, we need this. And we used to have Clint, and he was in an office, and now we're like, and Shelby's like, I'm driving. What you mean, girl?
I'm like writing an order up as I'm cruising down 169.
We're like, okay, hang on, what part? Parked for legal purposes. No, and so anyway, so that was cool. And like I said, we appreciate that Johnstone was willing to grow with us, but then also recognize what growth looks like for us and who is the best fit for our team, you know, like, and you're a good fit. So anyways, but that's one of the reasons, like I said, I wanted to have you on, because there's so many people that get into the trade and then they're like, I'm passionate about, I've talked to a few people over the past couple of months that are like, I love the trades, but I don't know that I'm really supposed to be with a contractor, or, you know, where I'm at now. What is there? And I was like, that was one of the first times I was like, we have to get Shelby on, because you show a different path in the trades that not everyone really like talks about very often, or like realizes is a path, because it's all the same work. It's just how
it gets done.
How it gets done.
Yeah.
So
cool. For sure. What's been the most rewarding part of your career so far?
Ooh. Let me think on that one.
No.
The changes I would say maybe the changes, but let's come back. So, how is it working in a male dominated environment?
It's really not bad.
Yeah.
So like going into a TM role, I did feel like I had more of, what's the word that I'm looking for?
More to prove?
I did. I had a lot more I felt like I had more to prove. I remember when I set my first Daikin dealer, he was out of Ulaga, and one of the TMs upstairs was like, let me go with you. And I'll help direct the conversation. And I was like, you know, as much as I wanted him to go with me, I was like, no, I have to go by myself. I can't give any of that credibility to somebody else.
Yes. Yeah. That's good. Like it's almost like you have a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, just because, you know, saying I have a chip on my shoulder doesn't mean that's bad. It's just like, sometimes it's like, dude, I got to prove that I can do this, and that I was chosen for this, and that nobody held my hand through it, you know? And, you know, there's a few things that I love about you too, is like, I've like shown up and you're counting our inventory and girls in heels. And I'm like, what are you doing? And we're like, we have like gravel parking lots over here, and she's just like cruising in, and you've not changed who you are.
No.
And some people will do that, or like try to blend in more with the dude. And it's like, you haven't had to do that. And I'm like proud of you for not doing that. Because like I said, sometimes,
like a chameleon. Yeah. No, I'm not.
You're just like, no, I'm here for the jeans, but I'm also going to wear my shirt. Like one day we walked in and girls in a pencil skirt, and I was like,
What is she
I'm
doing?
glad you woke up feeling this vibe today. I'm like looking at me and I'm like, I'm in tennis shoes and a athletic skirt and whatever, which I'm vibing with. Someone told me the other day I'm in my athletic era, and I'm like, should I read into that?
That's true though.
I'm like, okay, like I am working out, but maybe I'm dressing too athletic for work.
No, I like it.
I was like, maybe I shouldn't read too far into that conversation. What do you feel like, or have you noticed any changes of like when other women coming into Johnstone or other places, or has that helped you like when you're prospecting? Do you feel like?
I've definitely met some really powerful women in the industry. Some of the most successful people that I've met are women. And I do love to see it.
I would imagine for you, if you're out prospecting for a new dealer, that if you're meeting with the woman in the office, that sometimes that can be easier. And sometimes, FYI, women, sometimes we're the problem.
Yeah, sometimes it can be harder.
Sometimes it's harder. And you're like, whoa, girl, like, I'm just here to help, like, because it's like we have that natural, like, what are you doing here? I always joke, like, we used to, back in the day when we were a dealer for someone else, we used to keep our doors locked, and our windows are always tinted, so you can't see in.
But you can see out.
He would be like knocking. It was our carrier rep back in the day. He'd be knocking and we'd just be sitting in there like, we're not here to talk to you right now. Like we weren't, because, that was like 13 years ago. And I didn't know anything. I'm like, Oscar's not here. What are you here to talk to me about, carrier dude? Like, I've come a long way. So my lack of knowledge would sometimes be what's the word I'm looking for? Make me probably be a bitch.
Yeah.
Because, when you don't know, you just kind of are like, I'm not going to let these people know that I don't know. So then I come off a different way.
And you can't like lead off that they know more than you either.
Yeah. And then I would come off a way that I didn't mean to, because sometimes I just naturally do that. I'm like, I need to back up. Like, I'm not as unapproachable as I probably just made myself feel. So,
well, like, and learning too, like all the nomenclature and all that. It's like foreign language. So I was talking to Aaron this morning, and I remember it was last summer. I was like driving to the lake. I had a car full of kids and one of my cousins, and a project manager called me, and he was like, I sold a 3-ton upflow, 17 wide, 3-ton drive. Like, I need a pad, disconnect, stat. And so I was just like reading him his order off, and we were going back and forth, and I got off the phone, and it was a Saturday, and my cousin looked at me and she was like I had a unicorn growing out of my forehead. And I was like, what? And she was like, you actually know what you're talking about? I was like, yes. Yeah, actually, I do.
That's so funny.
And I was like, and it is funny. And it's like that foreign language is a second language to us now, And like what sounds so crazy to them is just like.
Yeah. I was actually talking, I recently went to Switzerland with Daikin, and I was at a table with some other people, and I was kind of like, I guess you could tell pretty quickly who works in the business and who didn't. And I wasn't meaning to identify that really quickly, but I was like, I said something, and I'm like, oh, okay, sorry, you must not work in the business like regularly. No offense, like that's great for you, but I speak nomenclature too sometimes, and you're just like, I don't even know how else to say that. And so then I try to like dumb it down and then make it worse. It's like, I'm like, quiet. Okay.
Casually take a drink.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
What motivates you to keep pushing forward and advancing in your career?
I mean, I feel like you always have to be evolving. And if you're not, you're going to plateau. So just like always willing to learn, or, going to the next Daikin event, or, just expanding my knowledge in the industry.
Well, in Johnstone local, our Johnstone has grown like a lot since you've came on too. So what does that look like for you?
We have the branches in the Gulf now, and that's, send me to Panama City.
Yeah.
Like it's so nice. We actually did a blitz there, and it was incredible. I took a break, went and got Starbucks and sat on the pier on my lunch.
Yeah.
I was like, I could get used to this.
Yeah, Mark, do you need me to move?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Just
loading
kidding.
up my husband's machine shop and we're going.
You can't leave it. So that's cool that they've expanded so
Mhm.
much and you've gotten to see other opportunities there.
And I mean, Sherman, Texas, Wichita.
Mm-hmm. And that wasn't all, like those have all been added since in the last 5 years,
Yeah,
right?
in the last couple of years for sure.
Cool. So what do you see like yourself? What do you hope to be like next in your career?
Honestly, I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing. I love it. I help the TMs some, like as far as like learning the programs, utilizing the programs, and just making sure all, the contractors getting everything possible.
Yeah, that's a big deal because there's so many things out there, and it's like information overload. And if like you're a contractor that's listening, or you work in a contractor shop, like make sure you're asking those questions because there's so much information that your TM, no matter who you're selling with, it has for you that it's information overload. So sometimes they have to like piece it out to you, and then you'll be like, oh my gosh, why haven't I known about this yet? And I've had that those moments before. And it's like, well, because I couldn't give you everything at one time, you know?
It is a lot. And I mean, and it's hard, or it's a lot to expect someone to remember all that. It's just like, I could just give you solid word vomit and you're just like, take in like 2 of the 10 things,
Yeah. Good times. Good times.
If a young woman is listening right now and wondering whether she belongs in the trades industry, what would you tell her?
Absolutely.
And if she's interested in the distributor side, is that what we call this? You're the distributor, right? I always get it screwed up.
I know.
Factory, distribute, right?
Wholesale.
Wholesale. Yeah. If they're interested in that side, what would you?
So, I mean, I do think starting off on the contractor side was a huge advantage for me, especially not like being raised in the trades.
Right.
You learn. It's a lot to learn. And there's just so many different opportunities, whether you want to be in the field, sales, operations, wholesale. There's a place for you. I mean, marketing, HR.
There's so many opportunities. And that was like, again, one of the biggest things for me wanting, I did kind of have to, I asked Shelby about this podcast like 5 times and then it never happened. And then one time I just scheduled it on her calendar and she accepted it. And I was like, well, she didn't say no.
My husband was like, what did he say? He was like, you could respond that you're no longer at Johnstone. I was like, okay.
And we're recording this on a Monday. And she said, she texted me yesterday and she was like, what questions? I'm like, girl, it's just such a casual talk. Like we have talking points, but we really try to just be casual. And she said this morning, she was like, I wonder if all weekend she was hoping she was going to get fired before today. And I was like, girl, it is not that hard. But it's, I know it's definitely a, outside of your box, right? But it is, like I said, just a casual conversation. And the whole point is really just to encourage people to stay in the trades, change the name of what the trades looks like. I am tired of seeing the butt crack plumber and all the things that, that they say are the bad and why people shouldn't be in our space. And I just want to continue to focus on the sexy of our space, right? Like why you should be in the trades, why the trades shouldn't be plan B for anybody. It should be a solid plan A.
Especially, in the tech schools and high school, like get in there, learn the plumbing, learn the heat and air.
And then on the other side of that, if you are, there's still a place for college degrees, right? Kaylee's got a degree. Right. We've got Cam backstage here, side stage, that's going to college, and maybe we'll twist her arm. I think she said for marketing, she was wanting the boutique
or sports marketing.
Sports marketing. We're like, yeah, that's what Kaylee said too. Look at Kaylee now on this side. But really though, is just like broaden the horizons of what's out there and know that the trades are always a viable option and an option that, you could go anywhere and work and that experiences.
Yeah. And I don't have a college degree. The industry has given me an incredible career. I mean, I do feel like I've girl bossed so hard. I can't just quit now,
Absolutely. Girl boss so hard. Yes, for sure.
I mean, my husband's like, Shelby, you can quit and, stay home, but
no.
Yeah. Not at this point.
What do you think younger Shelby would say if she saw where you're at now?
I think if someone would have told me that I would have been in heat and air, I would have been like, you are out of your mind. I swear heat and air is like a sinkhole. Once you get in, you can't get out.
Yeah, it is, but it's a good sinkhole.
It is a good sinkhole.
You just there's just so many things and there's so many places or like levers that you could go into. And it's just, and then, there's some people that will come and get all this experience and still go into a different like career, but or a different industry, but the experience that you can gain inside of this industry is just tangible stuff that can go with you anywhere. Okay, so we have some rapid fire questions for you.
Oh boy.
Coffee or energy drinks?
Oh, probably coffee.
Okay. What's one app you can't live without for work?
OeTouch.
Period. What's a skill that you've learned in the trades industry that surprises people?
Oh,
that's probably hard.
That is a hard one.
So
I have helped run ductwork in an attic, and that was horrible. Shout out to the installers, man.
Hey, that's a skill. Hey, you try. You got up in there, right? If you give, you already did the younger. Fill in the blank. The trades industry is
never ending.
Amen. That's good.
That's
well,
awesome.
Thank you for being on our podcast today. Thank you for jumping outside of your comfort zone and showing what's the potential out there. And it wasn't that bad, right?
No, it really wasn't.
I told you. So did Cassie.
We did. Everybody, you don't even know, like probably 80% of our guests on the show, they're always like panicking. And I'm like, sometimes I just ignore them.
Yeah. Block.
Because I'm like, you're panicking yourself. And I don't mean to. Like, I did kind of ignore you for a little bit yesterday, but not on purpose.
I mean, you responded like at 9.
She's like, Kailee gave me some questions. I'm like, whatever she gave you is what she's given me. But just so you know, if you're podcasting with me, most of the time my questions aren't on that list.
I told her that too. I said, I'll give you a couple, but we're going to definitely steer off of these.
Because what happens is that the whole point is just conversation and like bring, talk whatever. And sometimes we'll have questions just so we don't like
have dead silence for a second.
Dead silence. Yeah. But you never know. But anyways, if we reach out to you, anybody to be on the show, calm down. It's not that bad.
No, it's really not. And then just one thing I would end on is don't let the fact that it's a male-dominated industry stop you from getting into the trades. I mean, some of the most successful women I know are in the trades.
Amen.
I love that.
That is mic drop show. And it really is. There's just so many opportunities. And I just wish that I could like truly get all of that out of my brain sometimes of like how many opportunities are in this industry that so many people have no clue about. And it's just like, okay, you don't have to go fix the air conditioner or run the pipe or do whatever. You don't have to. There's still so many pieces. And just watching through our own company, like the lives that we've changed from the trades that, hiring people years ago as CSRs that are sales directors now, you could have never dreamed that. And I don't know that she could have dreamed that back in the day either. And so just like always have your mind open to what's possible and be willing to learn and grow and
build the relationships and the partnerships and
also don't be afraid to take a chance on yourself too. Right. Like, don't get in your mindset of like, I can't do that, because you definitely can.
Oh,
you put your mind to
100%.
So.
Because I guarantee you there were some times, Kailee was like, that wasn't for me. And I'm like, oh, it is for you, sister.
I never would have thought that I would be where I am today. So, and that's the trades is what got me there. So.
Yeah, for sure.
See?
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. And we'll have you back again.
Yes.
It'll be less scary. All right. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
This has been Power Women of the Trades. Like what you hear so far? Leave us a review in Apple, and make sure to listen to our other episodes wherever you enjoy listening to your podcasts. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.